Hi, everybody. You are currently watching, as always, our latest week of Quake Pro League, and it's our second to last series of the day. It's going to be between psygib and ZenAku, a matchup that we've talked about a fair amount, Flea, beforehand, because it's just now ZenAku is in his new vibe, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see how far he can take it.
I mean, the last time these two played each other was back in Stage 1, and then it was a resounding 3-0 victory for psygib. But that, of course, as you mentioned, was before ZenAku hit this new stride of his, where he's taken down Dewey, he's taken down Effortless, he's even taken a map away from Rafa himself. So this might be very different. Even Rafa on his stream yesterday said that this was one of the games that he was the most excited for today, because really, how high can ZenAku go, right? And psygib, on the other hand, is just, yeah, he is a staple of North American Quake, but he hasn't really been all that consistent recently either.
I'm curious to answer the question of how high can he go myself. Now, we are going to get, as always, a little bit of help for today's series. Our last two to close out the night, and it's nothing DJ Wheat. How's it going, bro? Good to have you back.
What's up, gentlemen? Good to be back as always. Happy here. The real Super Bowl is right here on QPL this Sunday.
Well, I'm from the UK, so I have no input on that subject either way, my friend.
That's why it's right here. This is it. Cooler versus Kilson. That's the Super Bowl, I think. But yeah, we've got this match coming up. By the way, let me just say the last match between Cypher and Ben-Gur was phenomenal. Like, what a treat. That was a great match.
It delivered. We all hoped it would deliver. We thought it would deliver, and it did. Shock horror there, I think, for all of us. But, I mean, ZenAku and psygib, this is, as you mentioned, Flea, it's been mentioned by others to also be a matchup that people are looking forward to. Who do you think has an edge here, perhaps? I'm not talking about predictions or anything, but who do you think would shape up here?
Difficult to say. If I had to pick sort of bands in front of me, but based on how it's been going, I think that ZenAku has just been has been looking really good, right? psygib, he beat Dewey last week after losing 2 consecutive games, not against the easiest of the opponents, mind you, but I don't know. ZenAku, he's just been looking so strong in that series against Rafa. I really do kind of feel like he can take this one today.
Yeah, completely agree. I mean, psygib has certainly put some good matches out here during Stage 2. He's 1-2 right now, ZenAku at 2-1. I just feel like ZenAku has been bringing it to the table, and as much as psygib has been showing up and bringing some entertainment and styling all the entire time as well, I do also say, before looking at the picks and bans, of course, that ZenAku is definitely my pick on this one.
Well, it's funny you should mention it, because soon we will have the picks and bans ready to go, and we can kind of look at how things will be shaping up here. Because ZenAku, he's just grown in almost every single area, hasn't he? I think that's one of the impressive things about him. Starting off with the Corrupted Keep, it's going to be Ranger and Strog. Molten Falls, Doomslayer, again, actually. We don't see him all the time on Molten Falls in Quake Pro League, and now we've seen him twice on the same map in the same day, versus Anarchy, and then Deep Embrace to finish things off. Now, I've got to say, ZenAku, normally known for the big body champions, in every round, one was removed. So we're not going to really see any of it from him today at all.
Absolutely, and psygib also really likes to brawl with those heavy champions, but it looks like it'll all be lights and mediums today. ZenAku even going for the Strog, which is just a very fast and mobile champion on the grounds. Very different from how he usually approaches these kinds of games.
Yeah, I'm always excited when we get not heavies on Deep Embrace. I mean, I love heavies on Deep Embrace too, don't get me wrong, but I think in this particular case, I feel like we see a little bit more action. Been proven wrong on that many times, and happy to do so, because Deep Embrace is constantly delivering us some phenomenal games regardless of champion picks, but I'm certainly interested in that one. I still think my prediction sticks to a ZenAku win, and probably would even say 3-0.
Ooh, Flea. Now,
Wow.
I know you said you're confident in ZenAku as well. Would you echo a 3-0?
Oh, that's a really tough call. I don't think it will be 3-0. I think it will rather be 2-1. ZenAku definitely has his work cut out for him, but it's entirely within the realm of possibility, so not gonna disagree with Wheat.
Well, on that note, you get to sit and watch it, my friend, because myself and DJ Week will be taking you through the action of this set, and then it'll be Flea and Wheat in the final, the main match, you know, to close off the night. But ZenAku and psygib, I mean, I'm always happy to see players kind of use Pro League as a real opportunity to grow, you know, to just thrive as players, because we do see that, you know, we've seen it with players like Chain, for instance.
Yes.
We've seen it with, I think Nosfa is another player that we kind of saw at the start of, but ZenAku is kind of becoming a very, very apparent example of that.
Yeah, I mean, his improvement in stage 2 has been undeniable. And I think that is really one of the reasons why I say, you know, that with confidence. Now, that being said, it could completely blow this one catch up. I could be so wrong because psygib has shown up several times. But I just feel like with the improvements that we've seen, ZenAku seems to be in the right headspace. And for a lot of the times, I think that's when he's performing the best. So, you know, we'll have to see exactly how it plays out. I love the map pool that we've got here for this series. I think it's going to be a great one. And of course, a nice setup for our final match of the day, which will be coming up next.
And at the same time, I definitely don't want it to sound like we just have no faith in psygib. I think it's just that we have so much faith in ZenAku at the moment with how he's been doing that we're all just curious to see how he shapes up. Because I said at the very start of the show, if you gave me this series a year ago, I probably would have gone, 3-0 psygib probably. And that would have been like a very safe and fair assumption that I don't think I would have been alone in that prediction either. But a year, at least, you know, is a long time for a player to grind. And ZenAku has used Pro League to do just that as we load up Corrupted Keep. Checking things out from ZenAku's point of view first.
Yep, and right away I thought we were going to see a little bit of a battle, but ZenAku actually backs off a little bit, and this is typically what we see here at the beginning of these matchups. There's either going to be some crazy battle, or both players will just kind of separate, give one another room, wait to see what happens here with our major items. Right now they are ticking down on the exact same second catch-up, and it looks like ZenAku is going to set himself up for the heavy. His opponent is going to grab that mega. He's going for it, but ZenAku is going to be able to do some damage.
Some bonus damage, Tri-Bolt as well, so he's not having to use too much of the rockets in play. We're going to see the Pika come in as well, but it's not going to be much that you can really punish it with. Mostly we see the rail come out, the rail cooldown happens, and then you get some free shots in, but not on a map like Keep. No rail in sight means that you have to approach this Pika entirely differently.
Yep. Yeah, and I do like the different ways that you can drop Peeker on this particular map. You know, from the area where ZenAku's at right now, dropping down and activating it, you know, giving yourself sort of shielding from that second level. Just a lot of cool things that we've been seeing over time. So both players heavily stacked right now. psygib with lacking a little bit of that health stack. I did want to say catch up. I do like the use of the Tri-Bolt. You know, we see more and more players kind of utilizing it on this map. ZenAku definitely kind of picking up here. And as he gets a ton of damage, going from underneath, that's not going to work out for him. But he's still plucking away. psygib trying to figure out how he is going to attack from this top level.
But at the same time, the patient game will often happen at the very beginning. You know, that first frag can lead to so much momentum. You need to make sure you get as much frags as you can without taking too much damage, and that refrag potential extremely real on a map like Keep. But there's not really a delay between the two items either, even with two champions that historically can get the two of them really quickly, whether it's Orb, whether it's, you know, the Slide, for example. But right now, psygib looking a little bit healthier, and he's getting some good heavy machine gun damage. ZenAku with the cheeky little repeak, actually getting some of that bonus Tri-Bolt damage, a lot of it, in fact. And once more, they trade the items. ZenAku back up to a base stack, but it's still healthier than he was.
Yeah, I did like what ZenAku is trying to do there, right? Apply some pressure. We do have the orb coming out, but it's not really going to do anything. Peeker, though, getting some good damage in there. Going to force both players to back off just a little bit. ZenAku not really in a place where he can attack either. But ZenAku kind of putting some pressure on that Mega, seeing if maybe he could steal it away. Perhaps even then delay the heavy as it's off by just a couple of seconds. It didn't really work out, but again, I like kind of the approach to what he is trying to do. Seems to like the heavy side of the map, and it's working out for him. We're still sitting 0-0. Both players about even stacks when you look at it. And just a very patient play by both players.
And it looks like for now it's going to be continuing because there just has been this constant rotation around the map as well. Neither player really kind of sitting in one area and being too comfortable. This constant cycling around the items happens again. In this case, Mega gets taken, as does the Heavy, as you expect. And it's been very much the same thing for the 3 minutes that we've seen so far, but that rocket jump, psygib really trying to make it a bit more unpredictable over where he can go, because you go down that hallway, you're pretty much stuck. There's a reason a lot of people don't go there until it's time. Wait a minute, goes in for the peeker. Super shotgun. Oh, it's not enough.
I mean, just breaking that down, it seemed like ZenAku did enough damage there that a shotgun blast was going to finish it off, but it just wasn't quite enough. That was a solid play. I agree with the play. psygib, though, just a little healthier than his opponent expected. And psygib, in that last frag, also some great opening tri-bolt damage that really helped him secure that first frag. So psygib up 1-0. ZenAku trying to find a piecing here, but psygib down to 2
He just
points
needs
of
a hit.
help.
That's all he needs,
does.
one hit.
Oh, there it is. There it is. A single shot. And that's going to tie us back up 1-1.
ZenAku made a really good choice. So the second he went down, he knew that there was basically no armor that could be taken, and that even if psygib gets the Mega, he's going to have loads of health and no armor still. So he just goes in with that Hyper Blaster, completely goes in, and then he just puts psygib on this constant back foot. And it was that immediate aggression that he put on that really allowed that to happen.
Yeah, and as we hit about the 5-minute mark almost, just tied 1-1, a very low frag game, obviously, but a lot of strategy here from both players as they are playing to one another's rotations. The Mega is picked up. A blast. We do see the orb go out. It is not activated, though, and psygib very low. He is just backing off a little bit. ZenAku is going to go after him. There it is. Second frag with the peeker, blasting him down out of the air. And as we hit that 5-minute mark, it is 2-1 in favor of ZenAku.
Absolutely do not see this little amount of frags on a map like Corrupted Keep every day. This is normally one of the more aggressive maps, the snowball effect, constantly trading them back and forth. That's going to be a little bit of self-damage there from ZenAku. Not going to be too happy about that, but onward and upward, I guess, as he now tries to push forward and use that constant range potential, that heavy machine gun. Really the substitute of rail, taking so much damage. Can he get away? Oh, there it is.
That was the most satisfying, just giving chunk that we heard right there. ZenAku, though, not giving up. Is he going to be able to get it? He does follow up the frag, but he is very, very, very low. He's going to grab that heavy, but he needs some help bubbles. Drastically, there's the 50 to pick up. Is he going to be able to make it to Mega? He does, but will he be able to grab it? Doing a lot of damage right now. psygib is getting eaten alive. One more shotgun blast. There it is, 4-2. But that was a close one, catch up.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. But the push forward with the shotgun, again, recognizing that you're going to have no armor left. Nice still bit of free damage there from the lightning gun, right as psygib pushes forward. Straight through teleporter. Oh, that LG! That LG, there was a few health. There was health at some point, and it's gone in the blink of an eye.
I think there was panic there a little bit by ZenAku, like, I can't let my opponent get heavy. Oh my gosh, a beautiful Dire Orb to the top of the Mega will allow him to keep this fight going extended. But out of the teleporter, psygib somehow misses. It doesn't get hit by that rocket and lands a perfectly placed shotgun blast. It is now 4-4, and I like it. We got a tie game, plenty of time left to go, but these two are really going at it.
And psygib left in that tricky position of where do you go afterwards. The tri-bolt able to get a lot more damage than maybe psygib was comfortable with, because ZenAku using that range potential, anything really, keeping the rocket launcher for when he really needs it. But the LG is so good, but ZenAku does not have the option to it himself. A star machine gun, here comes it. Oh my god. And the disrespect from psygib.
Wow! psygib picking up a second one there. I thought for certain after hitting that full peeker damage that was going to result in potentially another frag, but psygib's now picked it up by 2, and he's mad at those predictions. Ketchup, he did not like it. He was like, Flea's right and wheat is wrong, and I'm cool with that. psygib really putting on a great display here. He's playing very, very smartly, and I have to say, I feel like psygib, his saving grace has really been the LG, right? He's caught ZenAku so many times out where he's dishing just a ton of damage that goes completely unanswered, and I think that's why he's up by 2 right now. And
in a position where ZenAku often doesn't have the LG. psygib's positioning, he spent so much of this map in this kind of center room. Very rarely have we seen ZenAku in this position where he's kind of waiting for psygib to be the one that runs in, and he, pins him or whatever. Rocket jump up. Orb as well to close in distance. ZenAku gets some good damage, but he looks to dedicate towards. And psygib forced to retreat, even though ZenAku, he's at death's door as well, but psygib does not want to challenge anything right there. And the restack potential from ZenAku.
Yeah, I think that's smart too. I mean, you got the 2-frag lead. Like, you don't slow down the pace too much. Keep it going, but play as smart as you possibly can with 90 seconds left to go. This is looking good to potentially wrap up here for psygib. He is, the sun is not in his eyes, and he's chomping away at his gum and seems to be completely comfortable, and he's going to go ahead and get aggressive there with an orb coming out. Rockets are hitting all over the place, and down to 28 points of health. Is he going to give it up? Oh my gosh, this might not be good.
Nope, because he gets the frag with plenty of health to spare. psygib, I think he mistimes the Mega by a split second, and he's not able to pick it up. Oh god, psygib, the predictable push forward towards the rocket fresh off spawn, and ZenAku with the right call out, and just like that, psygib had such a minor lead, but it was a lead all the same. And for another time, he spawned with pretty much no weapons. He is getting some good machine gun damage, though. Hang on a minute. Oh! Takes the heavy, and he gets it!
Sick. That was such a sick orb to steal the spot on top of the heavy. We're now tied 7-7. This was like, it was 6-4 a few moments ago. ZenAku has brought it back. psygib very, very hurt. The shotgun is out, but it is missed by ZenAku. psygib running for his life. Down to 10. He dies at 9:47 left on the clock. ZenAku takes the 1-frag lead.
And unless psygib can find him right here, right now, and he can't. He just doesn't have the mobility. This is the crouch sliding factor. He cannot chase him down. And that will be the first map for ZenAku. But that was really, really, really hard fought. That was a close one. That was too close for comfort.
It was. And I mean, I think we got to go back and really review the tape on that one. But I feel like psygib, he's closing in on those final 2 minutes. He has that 2-frag lead. Maybe got a little bit too aggressive there, and unfortunately ZenAku just capitalized on it, and I was not expecting that comeback. Actually, I thought that psygib was playing very, very smart. He was setting up beautiful traps around the Mega. His LG was on point, and just let it slip away. But I guess that's also Quake, right? You can feel like you have got the game in the bag, and your opponent can turn on, and suddenly you're like, wait a second, how am I down by 1? And that little LG frag that we just saw right there, also incredibly huge, as just a great opportunity where ZenAku was able to capture psygib kind of out of position. And he ultimately takes that one. I'm surprised. I thought that was psygib's.
I mean, it was up until the closing 30 seconds. That's such a crazy situation there for psygib, where he was in the lead. It wasn't a huge lead. It was enough that you could absolutely come back, but just ZenAku and the pace that he was able to measure. And then the second he gets that lead for, the final 10 seconds of the map, we finally see the difference between their mobility options, where Strog is able to use that to just completely zip away. Even with an orb in hand, psygib wasn't able to chase him down or challenge him. And that is an element that you normally see a little bit more regularly, granted. And we might see it more here, because our next matchup here on the Molten Falls Wheat, Doomslayer versus Anarchy. Anarchy belonging to psygib. But again, if you have a really solid lead, and then we start to hit like defensive mode minutes, 7 minutes, 8 minutes, and Anarchy has a big lead here, Doomslayer, his double jump is not really going to help him chase a fast champion on this map.
Yeah, it will not. It will not. And before we officially move to the second map, I also got to say just a shout out to all those wicked, wicked dire orbs that we saw come out from psygib last game. We had like 2 just in the face that gibbed so beautifully. And anyway, we're moving on to Molten. And, exactly what you said here. And I never expect catch up or think that a player wants to play with that in mind, right? Like, I'm going to try to get the lead here, and then I'm just going to, run. Because that's a heavy order, right? A tall order. Some do. You're absolutely right. And I don't think that's necessarily the case here, but I do think you are right. ZenAku kind of has the burden. He needs to be having those early frags so he doesn't find himself in a position where he is just outrun and outgunned.
There's the immediate rail to come through as well as we start things off once again, looking at ZenAku's point of view. Now, just on the off chance, I don't want to break fourth wall here, but I can still hear the kind of general menu music, or, you know, the ambient music.
Oh, it magically disappeared.
I still have it.
Oh. Well, let's...
Hey, it's gone. Thank you very much. Thanks, everyone. Sorry.
Magic. It's magic.
Anyway, now we're here. We didn't really miss much of the action, though, Wheat, because it has been another kind of classic and slow-paced beginning. Ooh, psygib going for a big play there. The jump-in rail. That is risky business, because if he missed and fell down, that's damage he's not going to challenge.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. I mean, we saw a couple rails come out, some initial damage. Really, what we are seeing is psygib being very, very comfortable with his mobility here. You know, ZenAku was not able to get that nice little beam of lightning. It's been a little bit tougher to hit some of those rails. But I'm curious to see exactly what he is going to do here. Waiting above. Oh, sets up a trap. Does a little bit of damage. I think he could have actually done more there, but takes what he has and is able to equalize kind of the stacks here. Suddenly psygib, though, with a better stack heading on over to the Mega. ZenAku is going to pick that up, but not before eating a rail.
There's that rail, ZenAku. And would open things up, and good thing for psygib, you know, he's been able to keep that armor really nice and high. There's this kind of light nature, hasn't really reared its head yet. It's been able to cycle around. Speaking of armor, definitely psygib in a better position, but he's pushing forward. He doesn't want ZenAku to really be able to challenge this, and he will not.
Yeah, ZenAku was over by the Mega, but he actually decided to switch positions and heading back over, and well, I don't know what exactly he was hoping to do there. And hi, everyone. That was just just checking to make sure that we're not like sleeping and this isn't pre-recorded or anything.
It just caught the side of my eye, and I'm like, hang on a minute, wait, is that meant to happen?
The game's still going. It's 2 minutes 46 seconds. Both players, they are playing reserved catch-up, right? Like psygib is using his movement to pretty much control all the weapons, and as sort of, I guess, in answer to that, ZenAku kind of trying to play more positional, see if he could catch his opponent out, find a good moment that he might be able to dish out some damage, capitalize, see if he might be able to sneak in and steal away a major item, but that is just not happening at all for him.
But honestly, much like the Corrupted Keep, we have a extremely respectful start to the map. There hasn't been kind of one overextension of any kind. ZenAku with the right idea, but just not quite able to really land any damage, and he's caught with it. There's the Berserk. And he goes for that double jump just in case psygib goes back up on the jump pad, which would have been really scary, actually, because a point-blank Doomslayer in that situation, uh-oh.
Yeah, that's not a place you want to be. That rocket narrowly misses from ZenAku. And, you know, I don't want to say ZenAku's playing scared, but I almost feel like he is maybe playing more reserved than I would have expected him to. Maybe he is just respecting the movement and capabilities here of Anarchy. There's a couple of nice, good rockets, setting himself up for about 84 damage, and going to try to swing over to the heavy. This could be it. Gets him up to the side, pins him to the wall. There it is, the rail from down below to finally pick up that first frag, and I think he can breathe a sigh of relief. But what will happen here next? LG on top of the Mega. ZenAku's able to grab that good choice to fight right there. Oh, he's going to try to catch him over by that light up the jump pad, but instantly moves away as he gets nailed by a rail, down to 78 points of health. He's got to be careful here.
That really high up double jump to make that rail angle even more difficult. It's actually what seems like a somewhat safer approach, perhaps. And dropping down towards heavy can be so risky sometimes, but ZenAku, a minor lead here with the one frag, easily could be undone with one mistake or one thing going wrong here. That 5 minute, we're already halfway through the second map.
Yeah, there hasn't been as much action at all, compared to that first map. But I'm not surprised given, what we're playing here. And there's a lot of folks commenting like, I don't understand why Doom on this map. And ZenAku obviously feels some level of comfort. And oh my gosh, pop out of the teleporter. psygib is going to be able to get that frag as the second rocket completely misses. All of a sudden, it is tied back up. And this is a big window of opportunity here for psygib.
Well, we've actually seen Doom twice on this map, funnily enough. We saw it earlier on, but that was what seemed like more of a direct answer to Scale Bearer, because you see the double jump used on the bull rush, right? Whereas in this one, we have a little bit less information to go on because, Doomslayer versus Anarchy. A bit harder to connect the dots, really, isn't it? But hey, I mean, there's also this element of maybe player comfort, I suppose. And if ZenAku feels, he's always been a player that's not afraid to just go with the champion he wants. He likes a lot of those larger champions when a lot of people weren't really using them all that much back before. But a 1-1 situation. Man, I feel like all three of these maps just destined to go down to close exchange. A good rail. Looks for a second. Oh, narrowly misses.
Yep, and the heavy is almost up. Oh, there's going to be an opportunity to go in here. LG is being fired from down below, and ZenAku, unfortunately, not able to dish out any damage there. And this could be an opportunity for psygib to scoop up both of those major items, and that's exactly what he does. So he's got timing on there, which is nice. There's a solid 8 seconds or so between the two. But as we go sub 4 minutes here, Ketchup, still 1-1. And both players playing with an enormous amount of respect. I think that ZenAku, though, still in a rough spot. If psygib is able to land a second frag, he's got to be careful about this. And I think that's why we've seen him ease back just a little bit.
More of that LG. psygib not wanting to push in through an absolute direct situation where the rockets would have been painful. But again, we're kind of going back to this respectful game. ZenAku looking for what kind of chase he can apply next, because we do have this heavy coming up. Important objective to take in this situation. Having all the armor control over any light champion is a good advantage. Lovely, manages to find a tricky little rail there, which not only gives him the damage, but also the free heavy to pick up and an opportunity to be aggressive. Pops the aggressive. Pops the aggressive? Injection. That's what I wanted to say.
We knew what you meant. Oh, there it is. He ran out of LG, or he got just out of distance, but the rail is going to make it work. And now this is that moment, right? We're about to hit the 2-minute warning. And oh, no. Oh, my God.
Oh, my God.
I cannot believe it. The gauntlet to the face followed up with the shotgun to tie it back up 2-2. Smart play by psygib. And all of a sudden, it started to get a little nasty in here, Ketchup.
And not just any shotgun. Ooh. The starter shotgun. Bam!
Oh!
Doomslayer and a super shotgun. Name a more iconic duo.
I mean, that double jump, too, to avoid that rocket. Suddenly, this is a different game. And another super shotgun kill to make it 4-2. This is just... Oh, my God! Oh, this game has it all, Ketchup.
I mean, I'm desensitized to all this because I play way too much Doom Eternal, but you don't expect to see it in Quake Champions, do you? Super shotguns all over the place, the double jump to avoid the projectiles, the berserk when the chips are down. I mean, come on.
Oh my goodness. I cannot believe what we're seeing here. And psygib has just got, like, the pace of the game. It went from first gear to fifth gear in a matter of seconds, and it really, I mean, it all happened with that teleporter gauntlet frag.
But now the position that psygib's in, a massive, some would definitely say at this point, impossible task, where he has the armor. It's all well and good. Might pick up the frag here. Oh, but he's weak. He has the injection, but what does he do for armor or whatever? It's a hard game to play. There's the berserk to escape. He will chase it down, but the rail will cool down. Can he find it? He gets out.
Yeah, he's out. I think this is done. I mean, 3 frags. Even if he was to snag another one here, I think so. Not. Oh, and it's not even gonna matter with a nice corner rail. And 7-3. Doors and corners. Unfortunately, ZenAku is going to walk away with this one, and I think psygib had a chance. Ketchup.
He did. It's just that moment. Oh, ZenAku. he had, and that was for me a display of clutch where he was able to go, right, I'm gonna immediately spawn. I have only a starter shotgun. Things like waiting on the teleporter, having the gauntlet out. There is definitely an argument to be made near the end of that map that psygib maybe they kind of got a bit too comfortable with that movement, perhaps, where you just get a frag, you feel like you've got some momentum to work with, you've got all the weapons, you know they're spawning with nothing, so you kind of start flying around the map. Flew right through that teleporter and absolutely got more than he bargained for. He had the rocket launcher out during that time. He self-damaged during that fight. There's no way he was ready for ZenAku to be there. Oh, that double jump as well. Oh.
Yeah, I mean, that frag right there was just beautiful, and that was followed up by the gauntlet we saw, then the rampage in the hallway. I mean, it just got real dirty from that point. And to think that this was a no frag game for several minutes starting off there, and you know, I questioned that pick as well, but it ended up working really nicely for ZenAku. You know, he
actually
didn't
ended
let
up
his
being
opponent.
like a huge part of the fight. So the double jump to avoid the rocket, you know, which is that Doomslayer staple in this game. It is that kind of that balancing act where he's really good at dealing with rockets, but because he's in the air, he's really bad at dealing with LG. And then the rail into berserk combo, one of the most satisfying combos to land, but also one of the worst feeling ones if you miss the rail. That's not a good feeling when you miss the rail.
There was definitely a couple of frags in there that I think we can all admit that if they happened, if we were on the receiving end, they would absolutely give you that tilting feel. And it's not a great feeling, and it can oftentimes make you, lose matches. We saw a couple of those there, so very, very strong. But now we're moving on to Deep Embrace. We're going to be picking up the pace quite a bit, less dancing, as I imagine, as we saw in the last map here. And what do you think, BJ versus Nyx? I mean, an interesting sort of set of champs here on Deep Embrace.
Yeah, we're going to see that kind of mobility factor come out for psygib, where you have that pretty obvious comfort zone of the ghost walk, right? But knowing psygib, he's a player that will use that aggressively. Using that aggressively versus BJ, though, is tricky because, look, dude pulls out two guns. But I just think that when we're looking at how the previous two maps went, and now we have a medium versus a light, where ZenAku is able to find these frags out of seemingly nowhere and go for these really tricky traps and everything else. When I look at this matchup on paper, I actually kind of think that ZenAku is favored here again, purely because if he's able to keep that element of surprise, and now he's up against a champion with less stack, and he has dual wield, surely that's a match made in heaven. And he's already got that 2-0 here anyway, come on now.
Agreed. I mean, with the match win, you've got a little bit of flexibility in terms of what you want to do too. Can be a little bit risky if it needs to be, but I guess we'll just see what happens as we're going to kick things off here through psygib's point of view. He's immediately going to be jumping up, grabbing that heavy and a rail. Let's see what he is going to do there. He's got a lot of options here with that ghost walk to be able to use it to disengage, or just to be able to use it to potentially steal away a major item. We'll have to see exactly. Look at that rail right through the slits of the stairs. Nicely done. And I like this play from psygib already.
A lot of respect from ZenAku at the very beginning. He knows that he's not going to have a rail, that psygib will, because he's on the other side of the map. You have to be very careful with that. Right as he comes through, though, psygib had the rocket launcher out, so there could have been a free rail there just if it was seconds later. We have that excellent hindsight that the players definitely won't have. But, in this situation, it's like, ZenAku, we push towards the items, but there's still not an amazing amount. Losing a rocket launcher or not having it in this position, you can tell that's why psygib's trying to spring the trap. He's like, I know you haven't got a rocket launcher. Come on, take it. It's free.
Yeah, and ZenAku is not going to be wanting to fight that one at all. There's a nice rail. Tried to hit that one earlier. Didn't connect. This one does. And now psygib in a great position stack-wise. His opponent still playing the lower levels as much as he can. That rail missing as well. And psygib's got the opportunity here to keep this pressure on. Get a barrel on over. Nice little jump. A little cheeky little jump to the top area. And now he can just sit on top of this heavy. There's still quite a bit of time until that heavy spawns, but I haven't seen ZenAku comfortable to even want to go in and grab that. So back and forth between the two majors. There's another rail. Oh, it does hit, but what's going to happen now? Oh, the tri-bolt as well. Catch up so close. Psygib has got to get out of there.
Yeah, for ZenAku in that entire exchange, not having a rocket wasn't a huge problem because he still had some rather phenomenal tri-bolt. And psygib uses the Ghost Walk, springs the trap, and he's able to finish it off. Really well played. And psygib gives himself one frag up. Uh-oh. Don't go through. Yeah, it does not go through. psygib gonna be brave here. Starting shotgun, somehow still alive, but it gets finished off. I'm surprised it took so long for him to die there.
I am too, but that was a tricky situation there with the double LG. That would have just eaten alive. Thought maybe had less health than he had, and was going to be able to pick that one up. Not sure, but we're tied 1-1 nonetheless as things equalize here. Both players suddenly getting out that rail gun and really throwing some nice rails around. I really do like psygib's Ghost Walk on the middle area. Very, very hard to determine which way your opponent's going to come from. I think he played that one perfect. A few more traps like that catch up, and I think psygib can make something happen here. Double LG's coming out, going to use the Ghost Walk to get out of there. Stealing away. Oh, no! Spawned in. His opponent realized it's ZenAku very, very low. I think he's going to get taken out here, but does get his second frag.
Now the question is, can he get away in time? The rocket jump into rail was so clean. And he's still weak. Hits another one. 2 rails that are not easy. And putting psygib on quite a significant back foot. Now, where is the armor? Where is the potential here? Because he's sitting tight. The Ghost Walk is still down. There's the shotgun again. ZenAku just continuing this reign of terror.
I think that's the showcase catch-up of what you can do if you know that Ghost Walk is down, and that was perfectly done. Ghost Walk is going to be popped once again. They pop right next to one another, but double rockets get a little bit of extra damage there. Both players very, very hurt, running away with Band-Aids and looking for medical attention. LG does come out, followed up with the shotgun, and ZenAku takes a pretty hefty lead here, 4-1, as we hit 4 minutes on the clock.
Manages to take the Mega, only takes 1 rail, which is still going to leave him, in theory, healthier for this, and he doesn't. The art of dodging by not moving. Probably got that one from the Book of Cooler.
And ZenAku's, I mean, playing very nicely now, forcing psygib into some situations psygib doesn't want to be in, really capitalizing on that Ghost Walk being down, hitting these rails, but psygib answering back, and he needed that one. He really needed to stop that rally that ZenAku is putting together, and now the question is can he make something happen here? Trying to assault from the middle down to the Mega. Does land a little bit of damage there. Ooh, narrowly misses that rail as well, and we've got the heavy up in just a few moments, and nicely done. Keeps at it, pegs away with that heavy machine gun. 5-3.
I love the fact that psygib was actually ready for that, you know, what would have been a surprise angle for ZenAku as well, trying to get that high ground, maybe catching you slipping in a position you're not ready. Pops the defensive dual wield right as Mega's about to spawn. psygib actually very confident to jump down. He knows that ZenAku had dual wield. He jumps down anyway, knowing he has no Ghost Walk. Yeah. That was a brave play, but a play that worked out.
It did, and we're over halfway done here. Still lots of time left, and I think that the pace of this match is going to keep sustained here as we've had it. psygib finally stealing away a heavy, and I shouldn't say finally because he actually has more heavies than his opponent, but mostly was controlled there by ZenAku for the last couple minutes. And here we go, LG pinned after some damage being done. ZenAku not sure where his opponent's going to attack from, trying to hit with those rails. psygib answering back and really staying on top, but psygib has not really had windows to follow up with those rails. He's going to try to here over at the heavy, gets nailed with some tri-bolt. The rails missing on both sides, but they're going to both battle it out here. Heavy picked up again, and psygib's in a great position to chase here. There it is, double rockets. He does pop the Ghost Walk just for safety, I think there. It's smartly done, but we're now a 1 frag game suddenly.
Oh, ZenAku fresh off spawn is not going to have a lot of equipment to work with. Does have a rocket launcher now, LG, thankfully. But the game of rail. The rail has been such a massive factor on both sides, to be honest. You know, the player that doesn't have this rail in this position, so much range damage that it's hard to challenge. psygib gets another one. Speaking of, Skanji shall receive 5 frags apiece. And ZenAku is 2-0 in this set, but psygib, a map win here, look, it's better than nothing.
You're absolutely right, and I think the patience here is psygib, not really counting himself out at all. Oh, this is interesting. He's going to sit on top of it. Does manage to grab it off the map. Lands a rail, but it's not enough. ZenAku goes up by 1 here. And I think that is okay. There's still 3 minutes left to go. We still got a heck of a game here as psygib does fall off the map, giving ZenAku another frag, but he is not out of this by any means.
I don't think I've seen someone get launched so high by Tribolt before. Probably because there was 2 of them, I imagine. Oh, wow. Man got his arm shot off with that rail. Oh, and another one! psygib! Calm down, mate. There's no need for it.
Shooting a 45% rail catch-up, certainly turning that on quite a bit. And I mentioned earlier that he wasn't able to follow up and, you know, get to some frags off of some of those, but he's kept his aim on, still landing those shots. Eventually they will kill, and that's exactly what we saw happen there. Pop the Ghost Walk again. He used this to get a frag last time. Going to get some damage. There's about 50. Trying to find his opponent, though. Not able to follow up on that one. Should he have used that aggressive Ghost Walk? His opponent knows that it's down. He's going to have to be careful here because ZenAku has a little bit of an advantage.
Oh,
here for the next
perfect
30
rocket
seconds.
prediction. I love that prediction shot. You know, you're going to get the Mega, expects to jump down to the health bubbles just in case, and is able to get it. A little bit of information, importantly, able to get the Heavy as well, which means that, honestly, they're pretty evenly split, but without a Ghost Walk, and ZenAku with the dual wield, I mean, I know who has the advantage right here.
Yeah, he's holding on to it, and nice LG stream coming out.
Wonderful
from
rocket.
ZenAku, or from psygib, and following up with the frag. That was not only a wonderful rocket, but that 2 frag lead is going to be huge for psygib to potentially steal away this map. He was down by 4 frags, 5-1 earlier on, and now he has turned the tables catch up. And he just has to hold on for about 1:15 to steal this one away.
I mean, I'm pretty sure in that situation that ZenAku had a very similar line of confidence, where ZenAku looked at the situation, went, your Ghost Walk is down, I've got a bunch of weapons, get to the rail, I'm going to push in with rocket. And psygib, the peace of mind to have that LG ready to rock to knock him out of the air. There's another fight. He can't get up, but they go for the point-blank rails.
What? I'm not sure what he was hoping to achieve right there, but off the spawn, psygib is going to grab that Mega, but ZenAku with a little bit of an advantage here. No, the LG comes out both sides. psygib actually in a much better spot. ZenAku trying to, tries to get the shotgun damage done, but psygib still managing to come out, but return. Double super shotgun. Don't want to be on the receiving end of that one, catch up.
Nope, I don't think anyone does. psygib only just had, like, what, 80 HP at that point? And he's going to might it back. Oh, psygib gets another rocket! And he's 1 in the lead, but much like last time, he has the Heavy. Is there any small health around that he can soak up? Because he is rather tender here. Ooh.
Oh my gosh, so low. psygib is on the run, and ZenAku on the chase. Does come around the corner. LG is out. Just a couple of shots left. Ghost Walk. There it is for the win. Wow. Wow. What a game.
What a game indeed. We were so close to that being a 3-0. And the fact that psygib had, wow, about 700 more damage. Don't worry, it wasn't 7,000. That would have been quite outrageous. But the fact that psygib was able to pull that one off in the last minute, having the Ghost Walk, locking it in, and I think actually having the patience as well to wait until he used it when it was going to guarantee the win. Not like the second he gets... So many players in that situation, they'd get sprung at the last minute and they'd probably just pull that Ghost Walk to try and survive, and then they would just reappear and lose. He waited until it would win for sure. Like super, super good patience there.
Yeah, and that was a great Ghost Walk. The one before it was a little questionable, and I was worried. I thought that one might actually be the one that turns the table back towards ZenAku, but good thing we don't have to be in that situation to find out what would have happened. As psygib takes it, at least that map, but ZenAku with the series win 2-1.
But a 2-1 it was all the same, which, Flea, our predictions today have been pretty on point, to be honest with you, mate.
Absolutely nailing it. ZenAku, what a performance. I really feel like the sky is the limit at this point, right? He's just taking down these big name players. psygib was at one point touted to be top 3 NA by a pretty significant margin, and here we go. ZenAku, a man who only recently had to fight for his survival in a relegation game, is now taking him down in what could have very well been a 3-0 fashion. So really the man from down under is improving at an absolutely brutal pace.
I mean, if you want to talk about nice ring out there, if you want to talk about improvement, like look no further than just the statistics alone. The fact that when ZenAku made his entrance to Pro League, he pretty much failed to win a single series. He struggled against absolutely everyone. And then after that was very, very hit and miss still, but better than he was before. And now, you know, another stage later, looking like a totally, totally changed player. This is the impressive side of things, where the dedication that Pro League allowed ZenAku to absolutely dial into his game, it's clearly working, because now look at his results.
No, I agree. It's really impressive what we've seen. You know, a couple of those games could have definitely gone either way. But, you know, ZenAku sneaking out the series win there, it was nicely done. Some good play by him.
So I have just been told that we do indeed have ZenAku on the line ready for a quick little post-win interview. How's it going, bro? Well done.
Pretty good after that. Thank you, guys. And thanks for casting the game.
It's a pleasure, mate. Always a pleasure. Yeah. Now, I got to say, we just touched on this, that your growth in Pro League has been, like, I think one of the most significant demonstrations of a player that has just taken Pro League and improved from it. What is it, in your own words, from when you started in Pro League to where you are now, that you think has allowed you to kind of reach these new heights, basically?
I'll be honest, it's kind of like, I think just, I don't know, I kept playing every day, and, you know, slowly things kind of started to piece together. And I think that just like this last stage, you know, I kind of like, I'm always seeking help from players that are better than me, and kind of just like seeing how they're making this understanding. And I think you could even tell, like, even by the way that I played these games, that, how do I say, I'm like still trying to like develop my own style. And yeah, I don't know. I just kind of, it's tough to say. I think just like, I'm a really block by block person, like slowly piecing it together. And just like this last stage, I've really just like managed to work for me. So.
Okay, well, ZenAku, congratulations. I want to ask you a question about that second map, the Doomslayer pick. Why? There's so many people in chat, and we ourselves were like, that's interesting. Why do you pick Doomslayer on the map that is Molten Falls?
So, like, psygib and I, like, you know, one of my best weapons is the railgun, and psygib is, like, very good at it too. So, when I saw the remaining champs that was left, you know, I couldn't really pick Solag or Strog because they're already, you know, banned or had been played. So, Doom was the only character that I could kind of, like, just not get him to push me, or just, like, kind of be cautious with that. And, to be honest, actually, like, after playing, like, during the week, I realized, like, actually it's not, like, necessarily the best pick, and I do need to take more risks when I do pick champions. But yeah, I was actually pretty lucky to win that one. I mean, that frag where I, like, gauntleted him through TP, and it was kind of just, but that's also like the deficit to playing Anarchy, right? Like, you're moving so fast, you become predictable, and you can just block like this. So.
Okay. Yeah, ZenAku, I want to go. First off, congratulations. I'm going to go back to something that you answered for Ketchup. You know, you said you're sort of starting to develop your own style, or really trying to find it. I'm curious, like, when do you feel most comfortable? Right? Like, what style is it? Is it when it's a little bit more aggressive, when things are slowed down a little bit, when it's kind of more strategic game? Where do you feel like you feel the best?
I think it definitely, like, when I just have lots of stack, usually playing like the heavy champs. But actually, there's a reason why, like, Deep Embrace is, even though I just lost it just then, it's like one of my better maps, is because it's really about, like, this use of the railgun and kind of like being able to, like, trade very efficiently with it. So it's really revolving a lot around that, and that's why, like, I was playing so slow against psygib, because every time I gave him a chance to hit me, he did. And if we're going to play this game where he's better at my style, then it's like, yeah, I have to play super slow and just kind of, like, not necessarily cheese him, but, you know, try to control him out of the map in a sense. And yeah.
Right. Awesome. Thank you. Congratulations again. Great matchup. Incredibly entertaining.
Thanks, guys.
So I feel like we'll finish things off with, I guess, a bit of a generic question here, because we don't often get to speak to you here. How do you feel about the rest of the stage, basically? Because you've started off really strong, and things are, as you've said, it feels like it's going really well for you so far. But more opponents in the way. How are you feeling, like confidence levels? I imagine quite good.
I'm still learning as it is. I think like even this week with those picks, like it really could have. I could have just lost it as well, but I think going into every week, I'm just like preparing better, and I think that's really allowing me to win these games because I'm really looking for like key moments that, you know, if I do get stuck with a bad pick, at least I like can find a way to like manage the game. I'm feeling pretty good. At least 3 wins, like it's going to put me out of relegation, and I'll be honest, I was getting kind of sick of it. Yeah. So it's good to be in this position now.
Now, final question. This isn't really a question, but you have the sickest Quake tattoos I've seen. Can you show the camera before we let you go?
I don't know if it's gonna like. It's so awkward to show on this unless I flip it. But
well, look at the Athena one. There's Strog on the other side, isn't there?
Hang on. Oh fuck. I could. It's gonna be hard to show. It's on my Twitch anyway. It's
fine. You can see it on the Twitch and you can see it on the Twitter as well. There's Athena that side. There's Strog the other side, but it's sick. I wanted to give that a little bonus. Thank you so much for joining us, and
Thanks,
can't
man.
wait to see
Congrats.
you play a little bit more. But well done, mate. Well done again.
Thanks, guys. See you later.
So, now, lads, there is one series left. Kilson, Cooler, a matchup that we have seen so many times, and it's always good. What do we think before we cut to a break?
I think let's go to break so that we can get to this game as soon as possible, because I am so excited. There's so much rich history. There's so much going on in this stage. I think that this is just a great, great, great match to be finishing on.
Well, I've just been informed that we are in fact good to go for a break. So I'll keep this real short and sweet. See you in a bit. Heavy hitting matchup up next. Don't miss it.